Dr. Imran from Open College Park Limited. Now, before going towards today's lecture, I want to request one most important thing is that please subscribe my channel, because your subscriptions will lead to important and noble cause. First of all, because 50% of these donations goes to the HIFA Trust, and HIFA Trust is treating poor patients totally free for paralysis, sciatica, low back pain, any other vertebral problems, for disabled persons, for speech related problems, totally free. And second project is Open College Park Limited, and Open College is providing totally free education for orphans and 70% discount for policies for poor students. So I want to request you that please subscribe my channel. Now we are going towards our today lecture. Our today lecture is about nerves. In today's lecture we will discuss definition of nerves, type of nerves, and nerves present in the upper limb, and also we will discuss here the function of upper limb nerves. So first here we discuss what is the nerve. Important thing is that what is nerve? A whitish fiber that transmit impulses to the brain is called nerve. Now there are two types of nerves, sensory nerves and motor nerves. The sensory nerves we call afferent nerves. These nerves carry impulses from sensory receptors towards the brain. And the second type is called motor neurons, and motor nerves is also called efferent nerves. The definition of motor nerves is that carry impulses away from brain towards the organ is called motor neurons. So before going towards the function of upper limb nerves, we are discussing a few important things here. Look at this diagram. This is the pectoralis major muscle of the shoulder, and here is, you're looking here at dot. Please just bring close. Here you are looking here at dot. This is croce muscle. This one is called pectoralis major. This one is called croce, and this muscle is called bicep brachialis, and this muscle is called brachialis. These are the four muscles which are very important regarding to these nerves, and these nerves especially help in movement of these muscles. Now if you look at this diagram, this diagram is wholly present the five major nerves that is present in our arm. First of all, if you look at this one, this is called axillary nerve. Axillary nerves is originated from the region axilla. So that's why we call this axillary nerves. And axillary nerves have very important function in movement of shoulder joints and movement of muscles located around them. That's a really important function for this one. Second nerve you are looking here, that's musculocutaneous nerves, that is present just on the upper surface of the skin below the cutaneous layer. This is called musculocutaneous layer, and we will discuss its function later. Now if we are looking three more important nerves here. If you look at that, this is in the middle of the arm. Just from beneath here it ends here. This is called median nerve. And if you look at this point, this is called radial bone, and we call this radial nerve. And this is ulnar bone, and the nerve nearby this till that is called ulnar nerve. So we are discussing five major nerves. First one is axillary nerve, second one is musculocutaneous nerve, and third one is radial nerve, then median nerve, and then ulnar nerve. Now we are coming on the main subject, the upper limb nerves and their function. Now look at the first nerve that we have discussed, that this is axillary nerve. Axillary nerve is originated from the axilla, and axillary nerve's main function is that nerve that functions to the shoulder joints, movement of shoulder joint, and the three muscles which we have discussed earlier. These are the three muscles: pectoralis major, coxobrachialis, and bicep brachialis muscle helps movement of these muscles. Then if you look at the second point, the second nerve, that is called musculocutaneous nerve. Musculocutaneous nerve, important function of this nerve is that to innervate three muscles. Again we are discussing these muscles that innervate these three muscles, help in the movement of shoulder. If you look at the three nerves, third nerve is called the radial nerve. Radial nerve runs all the way down to the arm, from here to here. This is called radial nerve. What is the function of radial nerve? Radial nerve function is that to control the movement of hand and wrist. If you move, totally movement of hand and wrist is totally goes toward the radial nerve. Also controls tricep muscles movement. So this is the important function of radial nerve. Now if we go to the another nerve, that is called ulnar nerve. Ulnar nerve is located here beside the bone of ulna. That's why we call this ulnar nerve. Ulnar nerve, the most important function of ulnar nerve is that it innervates muscle of hand. It innervates the muscle of hand, movement of hand, flexion and flexion, extension, both movements related to this nerve. This is called ulnar nerve. We will discuss the main problems arises due to the compression of these nerves later. Now if you look at that, number 5, this is called a median nerve. Median nerve is just located in the front of forearm. This is the forearm and this is the medial nerve. You are looking at that, and this is the end point of this medial nerve. Now just discussing most important thing here. If there is any compression of medial nerve here, then we call this CTS, carpal tunnel syndrome. In this syndrome, the medial nerve compresses and it causes the pain to the hand, numbness, feeling numbness in hand, and this syndrome is called CTS, means carpal tunnel syndrome. Now if we look at this point, if ulnar nerve compresses from here, we can call is cubital tunnel syndrome. If there is a cubital tunnel syndrome here, compresses the ulnar nerve, then most of the time, if there is ulnar nerve goes to the compressed, and the syndrome is called cubital tunnel syndrome, cubital ulnar syndrome, and this can leads to cause this can cause lock the elbow. Now, after discussing these two things, one most important thing we can discuss here, that about, if you look at that here at the middle of your shoulder, there is a point called rotator cuff. Rotator cuff is a very important in the movement of shoulder. If you swing your shoulders, that's a very important function of this rotator cuff. If someone pulls, pushes, or gains heavy weight, then you feel there is a rupture and swelling in this area. This is called rotator cuff area. If the rotator cuff area swells here, and all nerves related to the this are beneath, you're looking that here is a rotator cuff, and here is going axillary nerve, here is going musculocutaneous nerve, here is going ulnar nerve. So all these nerves are passing nearby rotator cuff. When rotator cuff swells and it disturbs all the nerves going beneath them, and it compresses these nerves. When this compresses these nerves, this can freeze your shoulder, and then we can say that this is a frozen shoulder. Then we can do different type of physical therapy exercises for that one to help the patient to relieve this pain. So this is all about upper limb nerves and their function. Once again, I will discuss one of the most important thing about the muscles. These are the very important muscles that musculocutaneous nerve and axillary nerve controls these muscles. This one is pectoralis major, and this one is a thoracic, and this one is a bicep muscle. So it control all these movement. And here we discuss three main important syndromes. First of all, if median nerve compresses, then it leads to the CTS, carpal tunnel syndrome, and that cause pain in whole area of hand and feeling numbness in hand. And most of the people who are working on keypads like computer, keyboard, and most of the housewives working in the houses, they feel such kind of problem, and nerve compresses, and when nerve compresses, they feel pain in hand, joints, and also numbness in hand. So this problem is called CTS, carpal tunnel syndrome. Second one, I have discussed that ulnar cubital syndrome. This is called basically injury of ulnar nerve. When ulnar nerve injured, there is problem arises called cubital ulnar nerve syndrome, and it can lock the elbow. Then we discuss here rotator cuff. If there is a swelling around the rotator cuff, it restricts the movement of shoulder. When it restricts the movement of shoulders, the nerve passing around the rotator cuff will definitely disturbs and suppresses, and this suppression leads to the frozen shoulder. So here is a very short topic for today. Then we discuss further in next week. Till then, Allah Hafiz. Jazakallah.